or do I like it? Welcome to Catalunya. Andrea Dovizioso joins me on top of the Ducati hospitality unit. Andrea, where do we begin? Because it's been an unbelievable year for both you and Ducati. What's it been like from the inside?
Very special. Our start in Qatar, it was very special. 2 Ducati riders in the podium, and we fight for the victory until the last lap. So a good start. And but anyway, every race we were there. I'm so happy about our speed. We can fight for the podium almost every race, and I hope for the victory. I hope here in Barcelona.
You climbed aboard the GP15 for the very first time at Sepang 2. To put that into context, it was 35 days before the first race, which you almost won. The first time you got on the bike, did you know instantly it was going to be as competitive as it was?
Immediately I understood the bike, the limit we had in the old bike, it was gone. So that was so special for us, so nice to feel in the out lap in Malaysia. After that, we know we had many things to work, in many points of the bike you have to work, you have to improve in every small point, but we knew our competitive was there.
From the outside, it's quite clear to see the trust that you have with Gigi Dall'Igna,
Yes.
And obviously the trust you must have had in him to develop have such an input on the development of the bike. How special is that relationship with him?
Really special and very important to get this result, because in MotoGP a lot of engineers, a lot of people working in the project, but it's very important to have a good relation with the people, the side. Dall'Igna is on top of the project, and I can speak with him directly about every details in an open way, about negative and the positive. So this is the way and the best way to improve the bike, especially in this level. MotoGP, the bikes now are very competitive, and to try to get the last stance, to understand exactly in which way you have to go is very important, this relation.
Ducati's probably the most competitive it's been in years, but Honda and Yamaha are still nudging their way onto that top step of the podium. In your opinion, what's the missing part of the jigsaw puzzle?
It's not something big. It doesn't miss something big. To win the race is very difficult. Like I said before, now in the last 3 races, Lorenzo was unbelievable. At the beginning, Valentino was unbelievable. Marquez won in Austin. You have to win the race, you have to be perfect in every area. So this is difficult, and especially for us, the bike is very young. But like I say, the good point of the motorcycle in the racing is everything can happen in every weekend, and we are very close. Our speed is there, so I think we doesn't miss something very big. We have to improve a little bit the grip, but every time the riders complain about small things, but we are there. We can fight for the victory.
Exciting times ahead. So the questions this week from Twitter. We've got a question from David Knowles 81, and he's asked, what's your favourite track?
Not the favorite. One of the best is Barcelona, Mugello, and Malaysia is the 3 best track in our championship.
And a question from Annie Johor, and hopefully I've said that right. And she or he has asked, where is your favourite place in the world? That's quite a large, an open question. Maybe where's your favourite place that you've visited?
I don't know. We're traveling a lot. Australia is one of the best places. You can see many really nice places. Yeah, I didn't visit a lot because we're traveling a lot, but we
all you want to do when you get home is stay at home.
Exactly, doesn't have a lot of time when you are out, but maybe Australia.
And the final question comes from @Ludicrous. I'm guessing that's not the actual Ludicrous, and he or she has asked, who is the toughest opponent on the last lap? Iannone, Rossi or Marquez?
Very difficult to answer. I mean, Valentino is very focused, so it's very difficult. But maybe Marquez is one of the toughest. But also Iannone is very aggressive. I don't know, and I really never finished the race with Marquez, so I don't know.
Maybe next week.
Maybe here.
Thank you so much, Andrea. All the best for this weekend.
Well, this week on After the Flag, we're turning the clocks back about a week to the point before the GP has actually got underway. Now, over the last few months, we've shown a few videos behind the scenes, and some of you guys have asked us to go a little bit deeper. So we thought, well, actually, let's come to the Wednesday before the GP has started. The trucks are here, the box are empty, as you see, and now we're going to actually build a box with the Marc VDS team. They've kindly agreed to let me help them for today. Now, I hope to be not too much of a hindrance, but we're going to see how it's all done. And I think one thing is, many people think that it's a dedicated team that actually comes along to build these boxes, but no, it's actually the mechanics, the guys working on the bikes, the crew chief, the guys working with the riders. They're the ones that physically mount the box. So as you can see, they've just started with the carpet here, and we'll take you through the whole process. All right, excellent. And then well, I was all ready to help with the carpet, but as I just found out from Chris Pike, Scott Redding's crew chief, that's not necessary because you've actually got your two carpet specialists there. But Chris, maybe you can tell us what's the general process for the day?
Well, just building the pit box, obviously. So yeah, you start with the carpet, and then your next job is to put all the panels up. And each garage is normally a slightly different shape, so we have to make the panels fit the pit box. This one's quite good, so it should be pretty simple.
What about all the kind of electric stuff that are going there, all the screens put up? That always looks quite fiddly to me.
Yeah, I mean, because we know the size of the pit boxes at the start of the year, we sort of like, we know it's kind of built into the pit box. You'll see when we do it, there's certain length coax because there's always a certain distance between the TVs and stuff like that. So it's not that complicated, it's okay.
Excellent. Well, we can now see you guys are just finishing off the carpet there. What's the first job you're going to give me to do?
Build up the pit panels. We'll get the pit panel box out in a minute, and we'll start trying to work out how that goes together.
Take the main poles from there.
All these poles completely numbered. They have 2R for right, 6R for right. Okay, well, apparently I'm now going to be given a slightly tricky job to do. So Chris, you're already smirking. What's it? Ah, right. These are the boxes for the for Scott's gloves and helmets and stuff. Okay. Yeah. See, Scott might not have enough room for his helmet and gloves this weekend. Yeah. It's about 11 o'clock now, and as you can see, we've been at it for just over 2 hours. Now, a lot of the viewing area is pretty much done. You can see they've gone a little bit short with the carpet at the end there. That's because we had to move the box back initially because of the way the pit door opens here. We're just having to put a few cross struts in to make sure it's very stable. Of course, these are quite fine, these carbon walls. But as you can see, within 2 hours, you've just gone from this box of absolutely nothing to something that already pretty much resembles the final product. So not that much longer to go. Thirsty work. Yeah, it's sort of stopped haze. Now it's half an hour on, it's around 11:30, and as you can see, things are pretty much ship-shape now, so all the walls have now gone up, so it's now got its actual shape. You can see we have the toolboxes coming in, and we're starting to actually get a few of the parts that actually make this MotoGP garage a MotoGP garage. You can see the starter there. You can see some of the stands there as well. And what we're really missing are a couple of tables, a couple of chairs. Now this cross track, which I said was going on earlier, actually didn't at that point. We were still working around there, but that's now going to go up, and that's where they'll have the televisions, where you guys will see all the people in the garage like this, looking up at all the timing screens. So that's the next thing. I'll put that one back. Cool. Okay, well, as you can see, we're pretty much completely finished now with the box. There are still a few bits and bobs missing. Laptop still has to go and a few lights need to be mounted, but generally done. Chris, thank you very much for having us. I mean, how much longer is it now going to take for the bikes to really come in?
Probably the next 45 minutes we'll be ready. Like you say, we've just got to tidy up a few odds and ends, and then we'll be done. Yeah, thanks for your help.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Now, I don't think I'm quite good enough to help with the bike building just yet. No, but
did a good job with the garage decoration.
No, excellent. Thank you very much. But look, as nice as Chris is, I am going to leave it to those guys to do the GP bike. But in the meantime, whilst they prepare for the GP weekend, let's take a look at Moto 2 and Moto 3 highlights.
Round 7, the Moto 3 World Championship at this magnificent circuit to Barcelona-Catalunya.
Lights out. Danny Kent got a good start from the middle of the front row of the grid, as did Miguel Oliveira there in the middle on the number 44. Jorge Navarro from 3rd place on the grid also rode really well. Oliveira from 5th on the grid. Great start by the Portuguese rider. He leads from Navarro and Efren Vasquez.
The riders run a little bit wide, but everybody's safe.
That's Andrea Mino on the second of the Sky Racing Team VR46 bike. And now Kent up the inside of Vasquez at turn number 7. Danny Kent now making his move. 2.5 laps to go. Danny Kent, the World Championship leader, looking for a 4th win of the season. He hits the front.
Kent makes his move. They race down out towards turn 5. Can Antonelli fight back here? He can't. But Bastianini getting up the inside of Antonelli and moves into 2nd place. Danny Kent leads the way. Bastianini on his rear wheel. Danny Kent wins his 4th Grand Prix of the season, and once again Bastianini in 2nd place. Vasquez 3rd.
Bridesmaid again for Enea Bastianini.
Danny Kent a 51-point lead in the World Championship.
Lights out, great start from pole position by Johan Zarco, the number 5, as the field streamed down to the first corner. Tito Rabat got away really well, and Rabat's got the inside line down to the first corner. The world champion's going to get the whole shot. Sam Lowe's aggressive up the inside from the 2nd row of the grid. Rabat from Lowe's. Dominic Egerton got bounced around in the first corner, and Jonas Folger, he run off at turn number 1, but Rabat leads. Johan Zarco, the Frenchman, not close enough. Rinder's running wide, and so is Rabat. That's running wide at turn number 4. Zarco looks up the inside. Great block pass by Zarco up the inside of Rabat. Rins almost made it through. Zarco got great drive onto the back straight. No chance there for Tito Rabat. He tries to move up close. He's run really wide. That's race over for Rabat. Zarco has got clear distance. Rins up to 2nd place.
Johan Zarco wins here in Barcelona.
Zarco wins. Rabat was your top 3.
Johan Zarco wins his 2nd Grand Prix of the season to increase his lead into the World Championship.
Johan Zarco adding another win and another podium to his already impressive 2015 record. And it was a similar story in MotoGP, with Jorge Lorenzo now making it 4 wins from 4 for the first time in his career. And to talk through the day's action with me, Dennis Noyes joins me in the studio. Who or what is going to stop Jorge Lorenzo?
Well, at this point, as far as the points table is concerned, Valentino Rossi, who very nearly did that today, he put a lot of pressure on Jorge at the end. I see the Honda there to win a race perhaps now and then, but this is going to be a battle between the two Yamaha teammates.
It certainly is. Before we say anything else, let's take a look at the MotoGP highlights.
Spargaro, Vinales, Lorenzo. Nearly 100,000 fans here hold their breath. Round 7 of the MotoGP World Championship is underway now.
Great start from pole position by Aleix Espargaro. He got away really well on the Suzuki. Cuts right over to the right-hand side of the track. He's lost a few places. Look at that Suzuki out, dragged by 7 or 8 bikes. Espargaro now way down the field. Jorge Lorenzo leads the way. Bradley Smith a great start up to 4th, but the Suzuki's swamped off the line. Lorenzo leads the way from Marc Marquez. Valentino Rossi as yet not far. Marquez is going off the track. There's no way he's going to put it. Marquez has crashed yet again. He got him way too hot at the end of the back straight. Almost hit the back of Jorge Lorenzo.
Danny Pedrosa up the inside of Bradley Smith.
Oh, Dovizioso's down. Dovizioso now has crashed out of this race. He's down at turn number 4.
We ride with Bradley Smith. That is Iannone behind him as they come down towards turn 10. Iannone on the brakes into 10.
Oh, Aleix Espargaro has crashed out of his home race. He was running in 4th place. He's also not going to finish for the 3rd race in succession.
Jorge Lorenzo makes it 4 in a row. Valentino Rossi retains his lead in the World Championship by a single point.
Great to see Danny Pedrosa back on the podium. He crosses the line in a lonely 3rd. Valentino Rossi will still lead this World Championship. It's all about that man there, Jorge Lorenzo. A 4th win in a row for the Spaniard.
So Dennis, let's start from the beginning of the race because we had Aleix Espargaro on pole position, giving Suzuki their first pole position since 2007. Initially he made a great jump from the line, but then it looked as though he just got buried.
Yeah, well, he was outgunned. That was too much horsepower in the Yamaha and particularly the Honda. Suzuki's good, but it's not good enough to win a drag race in a straight line that far. That's a long first corner.
In his media debrief, he made reference to perhaps lacking something, not having the seamless shift gearbox. Do you think that played a part in it?
Not much, but he's not had a seamless gearbox before, so he probably doesn't really know what it'll do. It'll help him a little bit, but it'll help him more on downshifting than it will on shifting up.
And obviously we saw Jorge Lorenzo check out, charging into the front of the pack, but Marc Marquez was right with him until that was his crash. Do we think Marc Marquez's championship title hopes are now over?
Well, I do, yeah, and I think Marc does as well. He'd made a mistake there going into that corner. What he did say later, much later, was that the Honda's inconsistent on the brakes, and Danny Pedrosa also backed him up and said in the same corner, same bike, sometimes it'll brake a little better, other times a little worse, so he just got in too hot and he almost took out Jorge.
But he wasn't the only rider to crash out on track today. There were a number of crashes again. What do you think that was down to?
Well, they were riding in unknown territory. They had practiced with temperatures around 24 to 30 degrees, and then when we came to race day, they were up over 50 degrees, so things were different. The tires were the same tires they'd used in colder conditions. They just got caught out on a racetrack that's very bumpy and also doesn't give much traction.
And then that leads us to the end of the race, because by the final lap, Valentino Rossi had joined Jorge Lorenzo there. Wasn't quite there. Are we going to see a Yamaha duel?
Well, I think we're seeing one. I think we're going to see more. I think Valentino did everything he could. There was as much pressure on Valentino as there was on Jorge because he was being pulled along by Jorge. The only way Valentino could win that race was for Jorge to be reading bad boards. In other words, reading that he's losing a tenth, 2 tenths. On one lap, he lost 4 tenths. So, you know, we're going to see those two guys again and again. And Valentino, if he's going to race Jorge, he's going to have to qualify on the front row. In the last 79 races that Valentino has done, he's only started on the front row 7 times.
It's crazy stuff. Well, only time will tell, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time in Assen.